Quiana Jones met at the bowling alley through a mutual friend. Me and a friend of mine that we both knew just decided to go bowling that night to hang out. And I told her to invite some of her friends, some female associates. So Quiana and some other people came up. I saw Quiana. And the first thing I noticed was, I mean, she was attractive, of course.
When she introduced us, I was just being polite and I said hello and made small conversation, and that was pretty much it.
She's gonna say she didn't look at me, but she was watching me. And we caught eyes a few times. And
I mean, we all went to the mutual friend's house and we talked a little bit more, and then Michael and the other friends, they were gonna go to the casino. And I said I couldn't go because I had my paper and I had to get my children. So we all left the house and I was getting in my car and I was ready to go my separate ways. And then I felt something at my window. So I looked up and there was Michael.
And then she just looked at me and then decided to go back to texting on the phone and left me standing outside. So the first feeling that I got from her was that she didn't really want to mess with me.
So he was standing there and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. So I opened the door and he got in the car and he was just talking and said that it was nice meeting me and can we like hook up later? And I was like, okay.
It wasn't a lot of talking, but we did decide to exchange numbers and started talking from there on.
So I exchanged numbers with him and then I dropped him off to our friends and then I went home. And he called me the next day. He asked if I can come over, but I told him I was doing my paper and I had to do my daughter's hair. So we didn't see each other again for like a whole month.
We was talking constantly on the phone every day. She would have me up till 3, 4 in the morning and I had to be at work at 6 in the morning. She didn't care. So we was talking all night and then when I came back, we went on our first date, which was about a month later.
I guess like at first it was just kind of like getting to know you, getting to know what you do. And then I started to really like him because he seemed really laid back. He didn't seem like he was making up things. He seemed like he was being himself.
It was a regular thing for us to call each other. I say probably about 2.5, 3 weeks into it, I started claiming. I called her my boo, she was mine. When
I found out that he said I was his boo, I was kind of like, I'm your boo? So I'm your boo now? And then it kind of progressed from there.
On the phone, I felt it was genuine. It wasn't just as if she was holding back, trying to see what I was about. It was just she was talking, being herself, being open, and I enjoyed that. That's what I was looking for.
It was just kind of like, I wonder if I'm going to still like him when he gets here. It wasn't like just a phone courtship and that was it or whatever. I just was nervous.
As things kept evolving, feelings started to grow.
We decided that we would date and we wouldn't see other people, and at that point I felt like that was okay because I didn't mind being with him in a relationship. So I figured at that point we were in a relationship and we visited each other and carried it on like we were in a relationship.
So that's how I knew. I was like, it was a lot of little things, just like I said, knowing that she didn't need me, she wanted me for what I was and what I am.
You know, like we talked about moving out of St. Louis, him moving out of Ohio to maybe Texas or something like that, and I was just letting him know that I would not travel all the way to Texas with my children because I'm dating him or we're in a relationship. Like it would have to be more.
We never really talked about it, but it always ran through my mind because like I said, things were just going so smooth. Sometimes you may say it was going too good, but everything was going smooth. Then she hinted at it and I thought about it. And it was a kind of, why not? Why not her? The setup for the engagement, for me to propose to her, was that we set up a vacation to Indianapolis, a bed and breakfast, which was pretty much halfway between Ohio and here in St. Louis. And she didn't know about it. She knew about the bed and breakfast. She didn't know about the ring.
When we went to the bed and breakfast, I had no idea. I was saying to him, do not go in the room before me, just because I wanted us to walk in the room together. But when I got to the room, it was open. So I was like, he already been in the room.
I got to the bed and breakfast about 45 minutes to an hour early. And I set everything up, had rose petals and everything on the bed in the room. Went and got lunch for her.
So I go in the room and I see all these roses and a table set up, and I'm like, that's sweet. But I didn't think he was going to propose.
I made her a CD with pictures and music playing, and the proposal was actually at the end of the video. I
mean, we were watching the video and I was just thinking, oh, this is really creative. This is sweet. He has all our pictures, because he had asked me for copies of the pictures, but I thought he just wanted them to be wanting them. So when I saw them on the video with all the music that I told him I liked, I was like, this is sweet. He's really creative. That's really romantic. This will be a nice trip. But I still didn't think that he would propose.
The ring was in my pocket. I had it in my pocket. And I kind of ate fast so I could, and I moved over to the chair behind her. And then we just sat and watched the video as it played, and we read the words and looked at the pictures, and we were just waiting for the final picture to come up.
So when the last frame came and my favorite song was playing, and then there's this ring and it says, will you be my wife? And he had dropped some change or something. So I looked at him and he was on one knee, and I was just like in total shock. Like, I was like, oh my God, he wants me to marry him.
I put it on the video and it said, will you be my wife? And she looked at it and she stared at it, and she, like I said, she looked shocked. Then she looked at me, looked at the ring, and I'm still sitting there waiting. And I was like, does that mean yes or no? And she said yes. I think she said yes.
And then he was like, are you gonna answer? And I was like, oh. And I said yes.
I knew she was gonna say yes. I mean, why would you say no? Yeah, look at me.
And then I ran out the room.
And she said, actually, that one of her coworkers gave her a heads up, like, oh, what if he had proposed to you? What if he proposed to you?
So she didn't know either, and she was just like, oh, okay. So what did you say? I said, yeah. Then I ran out the room. I think I should go back in the room now.
It's overwhelming with excitement, with joy, anticipation. It's pretty much, it's almost unexplainable.
It was a great day. I mean, it was really shocking, but when I started calling people, they already knew. So I was like, oh, you asked my mom and my kids and my dad. So I was like, well, that's good that he included them in it, and it made me really happy. So I was like, I had a great day. I had all these roses, and I mean, how could you not have a great day after that?
Other than a child being born, what excitement could be more than that? And I felt that was just like one of the greatest days of my life, that she said yes.